to another episode of Warhammer 40,000. It is 1850 points and it is the return of the Ultramarines. It's been a long time since we've seen them on the channel, but James has been busy. He's been painting them up, and it's Ultramarines with a very small allied force of Imperial Guard, and they are going to be taking on the Dark Eldar, a force that has a point to prove on this channel. So this is the table here. It's an Imperial Guard city that's been fortified. In the centre is the radar station, but it looks like it's been sabotaged. It's partly been blown up there, and then the bridge connecting the radar station to the building has been blown up as well. So something's gone on. There's been a raid of some kind. There's a lot of Imperial Guard las guns abandoned in the centre of the street as well. So the Ultramarines have been sent in to find out what's going on. A small Imperial Guard detachment with them as well. But there's the terrain. There's a trench network here running along this edge of the table. A little compound here. Razor wire fence. And coming around the table, another compound here on the corner. A lot of ammunition and barrels there. Ruined, burnt out city. Tank defences, tank traps. And then just the main street running up the centre. So very unique piece of terrain for us here. Looking forward to this one. Ultramarines should look good on this table. Alright, welcome to this 1850 points game. It is Dark Eldar against Ultramarines and Imperial Guard allies. So we're just going to run through the Dark Eldar force here. This is the revamped army. So some new units coming in. Hopefully it will do well. It's a real one of the lowest performing armies on the channel, so we've got a real challenge ahead of us and a point to prove for this force. So two Archons, one here and then one here, all equipped the same. Agonizer and Shadow Field and Haywire grenades as well for those two. Then unit of Reavers here in the centre, 9 of them. Arena Champion. And then 3 of them are armed with cluster caltrops, so we'll get a nice strength 6 attacks with the Hammer of Wrath rule. 2 Venoms, and in each of those, one here, each of those is unit of 4 Incubi. There's a Clavex in there in each of those as well. In the centre, unit of 10 Hellions. There's Heliarch there with Agonizer. Then right in the middle here is a Talos with chain flails. He's going to reroll. He's going to be able to reroll wounds in close combat. Then 2 raiders, one here, each equipped with dark lances. Unit of 8 witches, and then Hecatrix there with Agonizer, Haywire grenades, and then the same again, but there's 9 witches in this unit here. Ravager with 3 dark lances, and then air support. We should be able to dominate the skies. Well, James has got no air support actually, so we will have air superiority in this game. 1 Razor Wing with 2 dark lances, 4 mono-sive missiles, and then the dreaded Void Raven bomber. We've just finished painting that, and hopefully that will have an impact on the game as well. So there's the Dark Eldar force. It's all mechanised, good air cover for this force now. Hoping it'll do well. Really rooting for this army. It's suffered badly at the hands of the Grey Knights. It's been beaten by other forces as well. So they're looking for revenge and looking to make their mark on this channel with a good victory. But it'll be a tough one. You'll see what I mean when you see James's Ultramarines.
Right, this is my 1850 Unbound Ultramarines list. And my Warlord is a Chaplain. He's armed with a plasma pistol and a power maul. And I have my Primary Psyker, who is Mastery Level 2. I have 2 Tactical Squads. Tactical Squad 5 is equipped with a Power Axe and Bolt Pistol with a Sergeant. I have a missile launcher equipped with flak missiles, Space Marine with a flamer, and the rest with bolt guns. Tactical Squad 6 is equipped with a chainsword and bolt pistol for the sergeant. Exactly the same with a missile launcher and flamer again. With the squads, I dedicated transports, 2 rhinos per squad. I have a Lucius pattern drop pod at 50 points.
Yeah, the size of that thing.
Yeah, it can assault as well as one of the special rules when the moment it comes through. And I have a Ironclad Dreadnought equipped with Hurricane Bolters, a Chain Fist, Heavy Flamer, 2 Hunter Killer missiles, and I have 3 Vindicators with Siege Shields equipment. I've got 3 Predators, 1 Annihilator equipped with Twin Link Las Cannon and Sponson Las Cannons, 2 Predator Destructors with Auto Cannons and Sponson Las Cannons. I have 2 Whirlwinds, and that's it.
So there's the force. A ridiculous amount of heavy support there. He's got 8 heavy supports.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's definitely unbound. 2 tactical squads, and then look at the vast contingent of Imperial Guard there. 1 Psyker, so it's virtually an Ultramarine force, just with a lone representative from the Imperial Guard there. Nice Dreadnought, and he's got the appropriate drop pod as well, so that's good work, and it's congratulations to James, really. He's taken a long time, but he's put the effort in, and his force looks really nice. But it's going to be a challenge for the Dark Eldar here. What a way to start with the new force up against this lot. So it's going to take some skill to outwit this Ultramarines force. Right, so you may be wondering why James has taken so long to get his Ultramarines done. Here's why. He's decided to magnetise his force, but he's pushing the boundaries here. If you just break up this sergeant here, he likes to have multiple options for him. So he's got
squad number.
Yeah, he's got a squad number here with a sticky label. He's got a pot, and then what's inside the pot?
Basically, I've got every weapon virtually for the sergeant. So all we do is just polygrip bag, just like that, and take them out.
So every sergeant's got these options. Is that right?
Yep.
So what's he got?
Well, he's got a power fist. He's got each of the combi weapon upgrades.
Oh dear.
Bolt gun, grav pistol, power sword, power axe, and also a hand.
Dear
it just goes like that. So if you wanted to have the bolt gun, you just basically lift that up, and it just basically goes like that. So there you go. You can say bring it on, or
Very good. Right. So take off that hand there and give him a bolt pistol. Take it off. Plonk it on. Okay, and then give him a power sword.
Oh.
It's a bit of a fiddle. So the arm goes on. Yeah, and then
we'll get there in the end.
Power sword goes on there. Very good.
Like
So you can do any combination you want. So it's a fiddle. He is the Magnet King. Look, he's adjusting the poses as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, ridiculous. That's why the Ultramarines are taking so long, but that's the way James is, very particular with what he does. But it means he could do any combination he wants, including all the combi weapons, so 10 out of 10 for dedication. Right, so the scenario is Crusade, so there's D3 plus 2 objectives, 5 objectives in this game, and the deployment is Vanguard Strike. So setting up diagonally, there's a central line of dice running up the table here, and then 12 inches across the Dark Eldar will be on this side of the table, so they'll be in amongst the ruins here. They're going to try and assault the Imperial Guard. Position just over there. It's 12 inches away from the central line, just that line of dice running up there. And then coming around the other side, the Ultramarines will be in this sector here. They're 12 inches back from the central line. So that line of dice runs up, along and across here. So they've got a foothold in the trench network here, which will be handy for the Ultramarines. It's good news for them. But Dark Eldar deployment zone running across here as well. So we're cutting in to that area. It'll be interesting to see how both sides deploy. James will deploy first, and he'll go first unless the Dark Eldar sees the initiative. And then for objectives, there's 5. 1 here, James has placed just there. 1 just here. This is going to be a battle for the trenches in this game. And then coming around the other side, we've deployed, Dark Eldar deployed 1 just here, and then 6 inches away one just there. So there's going to be a lot of action in the centre. The Dark Eldar are going to look to play it offensively, and then we've placed one just here in the ruins. You may sit back with unit and just try and claim 3 points there as well. Each objective is worth 3 points, so it's battle for the objectives in this game. Right, Dark Eldar deployment. It's a tough one, this one. The Ultramarines got a lot of heavy firepower, so we're caught between either holding back, taking casualties, or moving in, taking casualties, so it's a difficult one for us. It's a challenging scenario. So the two raiders here, one on the right, one on the left, and inside each of those is the witches, and the archons will join those two units. Then at the back, the venoms there with the 2 units of 4 incubi, ravager just here, and then the Talos just in the centre. We're going to deploy them right ahead. That strength 7 monstrous creature should do pretty good against vehicles if we can get him close. And then the Hellions there in the middle, just spread out because of James's template, or blast weapons, barrage weapons with the whirlwinds. And at the back, out of range, 48, is the Reavers. They should be safe just there, but they're a long way away from the Ultramarine position. Then James's deployment here, one tactical squad just on the right-hand side, one Predator, another tactical squad. James is getting ready to man the trenches. Didn't deploy in the trenches because he's scared of all the poison shots from the venom, so we've intimidated him already, which is good. Predator Annihilator in the middle, Primaris Psycho just behind. 2 Whirlwinds, I knew he'd deploy just behind there, so he's well protected. And then 1 Predator anchoring the left-hand flank, but that's the view that he has across the table. Dark Eldar have piled up on this side, trying to blindside James and move in quickly. James has rolled up for his psychic powers here. He's got shrouding, invisibility, psychic shriek, and that's it. Just for reserves then is the Dreadnought, could cause trouble, and then 3 Vindicators to come on somewhere on the table as well. And then for the Dark Eldar, these 2 units, the Witches and the Archons, are inside the Raiders. The 2 units of Incubi are inside the Venoms, and then the 2 Flyers will come on. And it might be their air cover that can steer us to victory. We'll have to see. Very standard, very boring deployment from the Ultramarines. The Dark Eldar. Hopefully we'll be able to blindside them. That big radar station in the middle there should provide us, should block out some of his units there, and we might try and pile up on the flank, but we'll see what happens. I'm just scared of a load of Vindicators turning up on the flank there. We'll see how it goes. We're going to go on to the first turn of the game. We might steal the initiative. We'll just roll up here, see what we get. 6. Uh-oh. The Dark Eldar have seized the initiative. Movement for the Dark Eldar on turn 1. Hellions have moved up. Nice bit of cover there, just up behind the radar station. 2 raiders in the front and on the right there have moved up. 12, and then the Ravager. There's 5 Dark Lances there. Some fire potential from that formation, and then the 2 Venoms have moved up as well, and then also the Talos. You can see how well the radar station blocks the line of sight. And we've just held back again with the Reavers. We need to keep them alive, so they're just holding back in the corner there. And that's it. So there's no psychic phase for Dark Eldar. We're going to go on to shooting on turn 1. Right, the shooting phase for Dark Eldar on turn 1 is not too bad. We've got a plan starting to develop here. Reavers have stayed where they are. Then the Talos has moved up 5 inches. He ran. Hellions ran 3 inches. They're right up against the building there, just tucked away. And then, no wonder the Imperial Guard ran off so quick. The Dark Eldar were upon them so quickly they had to drop their weapons and run, and they were still cut down by the raiding party. But anyway, back to the battle here. The Venoms have moved up. They've passed the dangerous terrain checks and are right up here, so right in the face of the Ultramarines. And it might be a bit of a traffic jam as James tries and responds to the Dark Eldar threat. But firing here from the Ravager and Raiders. Ravager did no damage here on the Whirlwind, but the Predator has taken two shaken results and 2 hull points, and that was effective fire from the 2 Raiders. That's the end of shooting then for the Dark Eldar. It's a quick move up the table from them, and the question is, how will the Ultramarines respond on their turn 1? We'll see what happens as we go into Ultramarine turn 1. So James is just moving here, and really just the overall strategy. Usually it's to hang back, that's the main plan, but such a strong, heavy firepower support for this unbound force for the Ultramarines, with the Vindicators, the Predators, and those 2 Whirlwinds. If I sat back on you, I'd be blown away. So we've decided to move up, but wisely, using the building to cover us as much as possible. We'll try and survive and keep alive, and we do that by trying to cut out as much of that force as possible. If we did a frontal assault up here, it would have been a massacre. So it's just a little bit of trying to be wise and keep ourselves alive as we move in, but firing as we go, and that has managed to pin down the anchoring Predator on the flank there. James has just turned up with his Lucius pattern Dreadnought. He's allowed to assault out of that, and he's turned up behind my Talos there, so we might have a showdown between those 2 in favour of James, really, if he gets into close combat, but the Talos will put up some fight at least. James's frontal armour is 13, is that right, James? 13?
Yes.
Yeah, it's an ironclad, so it's armour 13. It'll be a tough one for the Talos to take on. Right, so movement for the Ultramarines on turn 1. The Lucius pattern Dreadnought's just dropped behind there, looking to take on the Talos. It was a good manoeuvre that for James. Good option that he has for this force. Predator's stuck where he is at the moment, shaken up by the Dark Eldar onslaught. The 2 Whirlwinds are holding their ground. They're going to let off some fire. The Chaplain as well, just behind there, is staying where he is. But the rest of James's force has backed off. The 2 tactical squads and 2 Predators have moved back in this direction. And then the tactical squad here, or the Rhino just popping some smoke. So there's a split has occurred in the middle. James knows what he's doing, so he claims. We'll see what happens. We're going to go into psychic phase now. Just the little Imperial Guard Psyker here is going to try and do some stuff. Right, so psychic phase for the Ultramarines. The little Imperial Guard Psyche here. He's done well. He's given Shrouded to this Predator. And then over here, he cast Invisibility on this Predator here. So that's some effective stuff there. Trying to protect his force. That's what he's there for. So that's the psychic phase done on turn 1. Going to go on to shooting now. A critical point in the game already. How well will the Ultramarines perform in this shooting phase? It'll be crucial. Right, shooting phase for the Ultramarines on turn 1. The Ironclad Dreadnought fired his missiles and snap fired his other weapons. Got 1 wound on the Talos. There was 2, but we passed one of our Feel No Pain. So just 1 wound on the Talos there. And then around the other side, James has backed off another 6 with the 2 Predators and Tactical Squad here. And then the Primaris Psyker backed off 5 inches. He ran 5 back as well. So widening the gap again. Then the Whirlwinds, a lot of pressure on them to fire well. They try to fire down here at the Hellions. And one scattered wildly over here. And then one scattered onto the Venoms but did no damage. So it was that lack of line of sight which helped us out there. Just getting a bit nervous down here in this part of the battlefield. No fear. And then firing here, snap fire from the Predator, causing a penetrating hit. We passed our Jink save with the Venom. So Dark Eldar have come off very lightly from this Ultramarine shooting phase, gone very well indeed. So we're going to go on to assaults now. We'll see if that Dreadnought can get into combat with the Talos as those 2 units collide in the centre of the table. Right, so James is going to roll up to see if he gets in. I'll say you need about 5 inches. Should easily be able to do it. 9, yeah, miles in. 9 inches. So the Dreadnought comes thundering in. There's no overwatch from us. We can't do any damage. So that combat is going to take place. Right, so these 2 in the centre are going to fight. We're going to opt to do a smash attack. We're initiative 4, so we're going to strike simultaneously. So we're going to roll up our smash attack first here. We're just going to get 1 attack. Desperately need a 4+. Yes, on a 5. And then
13.
On 13. We're at strength 10 now. And we can re-roll this if we fail. A glance. We'll try and re-roll. Oh. A 4. Penetrated. AP2. So AP2. So we get a 6 and the Dark Eldar will erupt in a cheer. A 1. So it becomes a 2. Shaken in a hull point. We've done some damage, so we'll accept that. Right, so James is going to attack here. 3 attacks. He wants 4s. If he misses everything, it'll be good. No, he's got his 2 hits. Well done. And then he'll be on 2s to wound. Is it strength 10? Yeah, 2s to wound. Yeah, he's got it. All we've got, we'll die unless we roll up some Feel No Pains here. Feel No Pain. It's good. A 6 and a 5. It feels no pain. It may have had its arms cut off, but it continues on in the fight. So the Talos lives. That toughness for the Dark Eldar paying off. We are able to match an Ironclad Dreadnought in close combat. Not bad. So that's good news for the Dark Eldar. It's going well. Makes a change for this Dark Eldar force. We're going to go on to turn 2 now as we crank up the pressure on the Ultramarines. Dark Eldar turn 2 coming up. Right, turn 2 for the Dark Eldar, and they're on the move again. The Reavers have moved out now, 12 inches, with our Rending Hammer of Wrath and at strength 6 with the cluster caltrops. We may be able to take down the drop pod there. May as well mop that one up. In combat, the close combat here continues on with the Talos and the Dreadnought, and then the Void Raven has arrived and is just making a steady move up the table here to take on James's vehicles on the Dark Eldar left flank. But it's on the right hand flank where all the action is. Dark Eldar really piling in through this gap here. Hellions moving around 12 inches. Ravager just moving up here. Raider just there. So blocking off this zone now. The Vindicators hopefully won't be able to come on in this area. We force James to come on this side of the table. Then Venom here has got stuck and immobilised, trying to move out from the trenches, but the Incubi have disembarked, 4 of them just there. Second unit of Incubi disembarked, this Venom moving around, sitting on top of the trenches, and then with a view down to James's Psyker. And then 1 Raider moving through, with the Witches inside, and then the other Raider just here with the Witches and Archon as well. So it's bold moving from the Dark Eldar. It's turn 2 for them, so the whole army will get 6+, feel no pain. So we're going to enter shooting now for the Dark Eldar on turn 2. Right, so we're going to fire this Void Raven, and we're going to go for that Predator on the left-hand flank there. So 2 shots at 3+. What a debut. Double 1. Oh dear, you spend hours and hours painting these things, and then on its debut, double 1. So that's the Void Raven done. Hopefully do better next time. We'll go on to the rest of the shooting now. So Dark Eldar shooting on turn 2. James has put his Imperial Guard Codex away. He doesn't need any more. The Psyker's dead. Was poisoned to death from the Venom.
You've already got a backup plan.
And then, okay. And then firing through with the Ravager, and the Raider has destroyed the Predator. And then cheeky grenade throwing from the Raider, the Hecatrix and the Archon, chucking haywire grenades, of course, 2 glancing hits on this whirlwind here. So you have to hand it to the Dark Eldar. It's pretty well executed so far. So we're going to go on to assaults now on turn 2. Right, so assaults with the Dark Eldar on turn 2. The Reavers have made it in. They'll try and destroy the drop pod here. Then continue melee between the Talos and the Dreadnought, and then the Incubi have made it in to the first whirlwind here. Try and glance it. Only 1 hull point required for them as they charge in. So just roll up Rampage here. Just 1 attack for him, so it's 4 attacks for the Clavex, and then 9 attacks for the others. Right, so I'm freeze to hit with the Incubi. So nice spread of hits here. It's good rolling from the Dark Eldar. And we just want 1 6 and it's all over. 666. Good. So the whirlwind has fallen victim to the Incubi blade. Right, so it feels good when you do well with Dark Eldar. It's a new experience for me so far on the channel. Right, we've got this combat in the centre, the Talos against the Dreadnought. Let James go first this time. So he's going to get 2 attacks, needing 4s.
Why am I rolling them petty dice?
2 2s. He's rolled 2 2s. Oh dear. He rolled 2 of my dice there, so he's failed to hit. So we'll do a smash attack.
1 dice.
1 dice. 4 up.
Good.
Oh no, so no hits inflicted in the middle. Might be a good thing just to tie the Dreadnought down. But that combat will continue. Okay, so combat results there on turn 2 for the Dark Eldar. Just 2 hull points here on the drop pods. It's almost been destroyed. No hits done on either side, with the combat in the centre there. The Talos holding up the Dreadnought. And then round the other side, all the Dreadnoughts holding up the Talos, true. And then round the other side, the Incubi destroyed the Whirlwind. So it's going well for the Dark Eldar so far, but James still has some reserves to come on, and the game's not over yet. It all depends on those objectives, who can secure and hold the objectives. Right, movement for the Ultramarines. We can call them Ultramarines now because the lone Imperial Guardsman's gone. So, Ultramarine movement on turn 2. And we don't like the look of this. 2 Vindicators have turned up, made a shield wall. And with those nasty guns looking out across the Dark Eldar here. So James could easily turn the tide if he commits himself to it. The Whirlwind here has just pivoted, so he's going to be able to fire. 2 Vindicators here, and then Predator just in support behind. 1 tactical squad at the back. Another Predator just here, and then 1 tactical squad has moved out. Combat squads, so 1 has stayed inside the Rhino, and the other has disembarked 2 inches to move into the bunker and trench system. Remember, there's objective just here. That's being held by the chaplain on his own at the moment. So the weight of the objectives, the Eldar are pushing the Ultramarines back. So tactically, they have the edge as well. But if the Ultramarines can be devastating enough with their firepower, they can drive the Dark Eldar back. We'll have to see what happens. Going to go on to the psychic phase now for the... Oh yeah, there is no psychic phase now, so we're going to go on to straight into shooting now on turn 2 for the Ultramarines. Right, so just finishing up on the shooting phase here, and it's typical with James, just when you think he's down and out, he bounces back like a wounded bear, as I've said before on battle reports. You think he's down, but when he's wounded, it is most dangerous, and he's done it this turn. Devastating reply from the Ultramarines, very effective. Void Raven Bomber has become a casualty. There's a hit from the flak missile from the tactical squad and the Rhino just at the back there. We didn't want to jink, it was only strength 7, but he penetrated and then got an immobilised result and then rolled a 1 or a 2. The Void Raven Bomber came crashing down. So, disappointing debut from that flyer. So just moved out here with the Predator, just adjusting himself there. The tactical squad have moved in to the trenches. So fire coming through from the Vindicators. Raider destroyed, blew up and losing a number of witches there. 1 Incubi destroyed and the Venom gone as well. That's fire from the other Vindicator. And then the Whirlwind firing through caused 8 wounds on the Hellions, but we passed 5 of our Feel No Pain saves. So a devastating round, a good reply from the Ultramarines on this turn, so the game's certainly back on. And as far as casualties are concerned, we'd say that James has tipped the weight of that in his favour. So it's a good round from the Ultramarines. Going to go on to assaults now. There's no charges from the Ultramarines, just that continuing melee with the Dreadnought, and then the Reavers, they can't really do any damage to the drop pod. So he's rolled 4s here. He's got his 2 hits. 2s to wound. Yes. So we've got a pass 2 Feel No Pains, who might have used up all our good rolls here. Oh, we passed 1. So 1 wound on the Talos, 1 wound remaining, and then we'll do a smash attack back. We need a 4. We've got a reply here. Yes, we do. 13. So it's armor 13, strength 10. We fail, we will re-roll. 4, we penetrate, it's AP2. James sighs, and he'll sigh again if we get a 6. No, 3 becomes a 4. So that's the combat done. The Talos is down to his last wound, and the Dreadnought is down to his last hull point. So those 2 have been locked in mortal combat since the start of the game. So we're going to go on to Dark Eldar turn 3. We're going to have to remedy the situation here, or the game could slip from our grasp, and the glass hammer effect will happen again. We'll see what the Dark Eldar can do. Right, so Dark Eldar turn 3. Reavers have just backed off a little bit. If they decide to charge in, they'll get the hammer of rough attacks back. And then the Razorwing has turned up. He's going to try and lay down some fire on the strong Ultramarine position there on the Dark Eldar left flank. Not sure whether we're going to be able to break into all those vehicles there. James has remedied the situation pretty well. So this is the strong point here for the Ultramarines. And then coming across, Inku moving out 3 inches. They're going to try and reach the Whirlwind. And then the Raiders moved up 12. That's got the Army Commander in there, plus the Unit of 9 Witches. Ink could be just moving into the trenches here, along with the second in command and his squad. There is an objective here, so we're really playing to win the game by the objectives. And just spreading out a bit with the Hellions, just awaiting to see what happens. He's still got a Vindicator to come on. He may bring it on down here. We'll just have to wait and respond and see what happens. So Dark Eldar playing tactically at the moment. Not sure if we've got enough striking power to assault this Ultramarine position. It's risky if we do that. We get blown away, then James will have free reign on the table. So Dark Eldar playing tactically here. We're going to go on to shooting phase now on turn 3 for the Dark Eldar. So we're going to fire the Razor Wing here. We're going to launch 2 monoside missiles. James is just holding the template there. So the first one has gone a little bit wild. Yeah, 5 inches has missed just by a fraction. Second one, that one hits. We've got a missile hit, and then we'll fire these 2 Dark Lances here. They've hit. The Razor Wing's doing a lot better. So strength 6 with a missile is 10. So that's bounced. And then the 2 lance shots. It's armor 11. Strength 8. Armor 11. 1 bounce and 1 penetrating hit. It's AP 2. Becomes a 3. So it's just a shaken and a hull point on the Rhino just over there. But some damage done. Right, the rest of the Dark Eldar shooting. On turn 3, the Ink will be just moving into the trench, and then the command squad there, or the commander and the witches moving in as well. They're in 3 inches of this objective, so they're holding it at the moment. Hellions just spreading out a little bit, just waiting to see what happens. We'll see where the last Vindicator turns up. And then a bold move here. The Raiders moved up 18 inches, facing straight off against the Vindicator. So that gives James something to deal with. Hopefully try and keep these Ultramarines back. But it's still early. I mean, we're only halfway through the game at the moment. So that's shooting done. Going to go on to assaults now on turn 3. So the crucial role here is to see if these Incubi will make it into contact with that whirlwind. We've got to take that whirlwind out. It's going through cover, so we're going to less 2 dice off the roll. Okay. We're fleet, thankfully. We'll re-roll this 1, and James is saying anything but a 1 and we'll be in. I've done it again. So that's 3 inches. The Incubi have fallen short. If they get destroyed, it's their own fault. 3 inches, no, that's miles short there. So the Incubi do not make it into combat. Bad move there. The whirlwind lives to shoot again. That is annoying because that needs to go. It's got that ignores cover shooting attack, and that could be a real problem for this Dark Eldar force. That's assaults there. The Incubi have failed to get in. That combat continues, and then we'll just charge in here just to take that one off and get him off the table. So James is going to do his assaults again. Now he is shaken up, so he's only going to get 1 attack. So he needs a 4 on 1 dice. Yes, he gets it. It's 2s to wound. A 1 would be nice. No. We'll die unless we get a 5 or a 6. It'd be incredible feel no pain if we get another 5. No, 3. So the Talos is dead. He did well. We will now roll to do our smash attack on the same initiative. So we need 4s. We get it. Yes. I think we'll kill each other. So we roll to penetrate. Strength 10, 14. It penetrates. And it's gone. That's the last hull point. So they have killed each other. What a showdown in the centre there. The Dreadnought and the Talos have neutralised each other in the fight in the middle. Right, so just combat results there. The Reaver's just finished off the drop pod, and then the Dreadnought, with his arms torn off, has been destroyed by the Talos, but in return the Talos fell victim to the Dreadnought there. So those 2 units cancelling each other out. Good fight that was in the middle, and that's a nice toughness unit for the Dark Eldar there. Right, so combat's finished for the Dark Eldar on turn 3. We are going to go on to turn 3 for the Ultramarines. Another good turn from James, and the game will be turned around, that's for sure. Right, so Ultramarine movement on turn 3. James is congratulating himself. He's saying that he did a good tactical withdrawal, and I have to agree, he's done well. But in the overall scheme of things, I'm not sure whether it's going to pay off. The objectives are over here, and James is over there. So he's gonna, but we'll see what happens. He could drive forward. It's only turn 3. He's got plans, so don't underestimate him. That's for sure. I've learnt that long ago. So Predator's just fallen back here. They're able to supply some long-range firepower. Tactical squad, Rhino here, the combat squad inside just holding their ground. This little combat squad have joined the chaplain. Vindicator's just falling back here, and the Whirlwind falling back 6 inches as well. And tactical squad just anchoring the position. Shame there aren't many objectives over here. If that was the case, James would surely win. And then coming across here, there's no Ultramarines around here, so it's going to be down to the firepower from this sector. Crawling with Ultramarine vehicles. Been a tough one for the Dark Eldar. A lot of vehicles to break open here. But it's all down to that raider. Will the raider and its contents survive the full force from this lot here? If they do, then there's potential for the Dark Eldar to break in. There's no psychic phase. So we're going to go on to shooting now for the Ultramarines on turn 3. Okay, first Vindicator. This one. This left-hand one?
Yeah.
This one's going to fire, and he's going to put the marker just on the head of this guy here for safety purposes, as James says. He doesn't want the explosion to land on his Whirlwind. So James is going to roll up the first one.
Shebang. Yes!
Ooh, yeah, just about. It gets the hit. So we will jink this. We're going to jink all these hits. So our first jink of a 4+ is a 2. Blast. James is past the jink, so that's a good start.
10
He will penetrate. There's no point in even rolling.
Alright.
He's penetrated.
Open tops and AP2.
Open tops and AP2. A 5 or a 6 will spell the end of the transport. It's only his first shot.
The Emperor.
A 1. Whew. Okay. So roll a 1. So it's shaken, but not stirred. So we're going to go on to the next shot now from the second Vindicator. So there's 1 whole point so far and a result of a 3. The vehicle may not last too long. Here it comes.
An inch.
It's an inch, that's fine. It's hit the target. It's accurate shooting from the Vindicators. They're holding their nerve. Imperial Guard would miss in these situations. 4+. Yes. So we've dodged that shot as it comes in. So maybe a little bit of pressure. We'll see. What else has he got left? Yeah, he's got a flak shot here. He's going to fire it through. So freeze to hit.
4.
Yes, gets the hit. Ignores jink apparently, so we can't stop him. Strength 7.
Strength 7, yeah.
Okay, armor 10. 11. Penetrated. Okay.
6.
Here it goes. Needs a 6. Don't get a 6. 5. Immobilised. Okay, very good. So now immobilised it, and the second hull point. So he's going to fire this flak missile across here. We'll get cover this time, firing through the Whirlwind. So here we go.
Here we go. We hit again.
4. Yeah, he's hit. Strength 7, armor 10. Come on. 3. Yes, a glance, which will be enough to break open the transport. We're going to get a cover save of a 6. Yes. So we may have survived. We've taken a lot of hits as we've gone in.
Him as well.
Yeah, a couple of bolter shots, because you can fire 2 out of those hatches there. So 2 shots coming in, freeze to hit.
This one? No.
He missed, and the other guy, he missed as well. All nervous on the trigger
We're
there.
not nervous. We're nervous. Yeah, he's got a plasma pistol.
Come on, Raider. Right, a plasma pistol from the chaplain. This will hurt if he gets the hit, which he does on a 3. Strength 7. 7, 8, 9. No. Plasma pistols failed. Then we've got some bolt gun shots. Rapid fire, yes. So 5 shots, 2 bolters, and a pistol. Come on, all he needs is 1 hull point, and that transport's gone. I'd rather him not blow it up. Right, so 5 shots from the 2 bolters and bolt pistol. Freeze.
So that's 4 hits.
4 hits, yeah. 6s. quadruple 2.
Got the storm bolters on the rhinos.
Storm bolters on the rhinos. Really getting desperate here. So the first one.
So the first one, 2 hit.
I reckon he's going to get one of these 6s. No. Okay, second one. He's expending every possible kind of shot here. 1 hit. And then
a 6.
A 6. Or 5, close. Okay. Anything else? Right, shot coming in here from this turret lascan. You can see the top part of the raider here. So if he gets through, it'll be enough to finish me off. Here we go.
Hits.
So he hits.
Strength 9.
Strength 9. Auto glance. So 1 would be handy though. 2. No, he penetrates. We'll try and jink it. Big roll here. Come on. 4. Yes. Jink or cover, it doesn't matter. We pass. So we pass to the jink there. Last chance here. Auto cannon coming across. I think this is the last shot he can have.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's checking. Okay. He's allowed to have it. 2 shots with an auto cannon. Strength 7. Both hit.
Strength 7.
Strength 7. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. A double 1. We deserve to get in now. The commander and his unit of witches have survived. James fired everything.
I'll have to fire the whirlwind.
Oh no, he's going to fire the whirlwind. So Stormbolter on the whirlwind. So they failed, needing 6s. And then the big template. He'll place it here because he doesn't want to blow himself up. Right, he's rolling up. He's going to try and land the marker just there. He's going for the high strength shot, so we'll get our jink. And he's just going to roll up to scatter. Scattering 6 inches. Right, she's got the hit. It's strength 6?
Strength 5.
Strength 5, right. So 5 or 6 will do. This is his last throw, the last throw of the dice. Here it comes. 5 or 6? Oh, he's got the glance. Right. Okay, so pressure roll. We need a 4, 5 or a 6. Please. Yes. 5. We've jinked it. That is expert steersmanship from the Raider driver there. So good going. The Dark Eldar Raider survives. Shooting's all done. James fired everything, and yet we still lived. So we're going to go on to assaults now. There are none. So it's over to Dark Eldar. Turn 4 coming up. Right, Dark Eldar turn 4. The Reavers just shifted an inch. I think they are going to have to just go on objective patrols. They're just going to hang around here. A lot of the Ultramarine threat has gone from this sector of the table. If they claim 3 points, then they've done well. Haven't done much spectacular in this game, but we're playing it tactically here. Razor Wings just moved up another 18 inches, going to be able to let off some fire support. And we are going to make an assault on James's position here. The Witches have disembarked with the Archon, 9 of them, and they're moving in, and we may try and simultaneously take out both of these Vindicators. Raiders just sitting here. Incubi have moved out 4 inches, and are going to try a long charge over towards the Whirlwind. And then just here, holding our position in the trenches, quite happy to sit there, watching over that objective, and then the Hellions just covering the table edge here to stop the Vindicator arriving as well. So we're going to go on to shooting phase now for the Dark Eldar on turn 4. Right, so shooting for the Dark Eldar on turn 4. The last 2 monoside missiles firing down, and then the 2 lances just a hard point on the Rhino here. One penetrating hit, but James got a cover save and passed it just about. No damage there with the Haywire Grenade. Tried to throw it onto this Vindicator here, didn't do it. And then just coming up the table here, just spreading out a little bit more with the Hellions. And then we rolled a 6. We've moved off a little bit. There are 2 more objectives around the side there. And with the Dreadnought gone, the unit of Witches and the second in command have moved out in that direction. Because we're going to get Fearless later on, so we should be able to hold our ground there with the 3 Incubi, which have moved up as well in the trench just along there to claim the objective just here. So that's shooting done for the Dark Eldar. Nothing too spectacular. Going to go on to assaults now. There's a couple of key ones. I'm going to try and reach in combat. A long stride with the Incubi and then the Witches charging in as well. So we're charging here with the Witches. So it's a simultaneous charge. We're going to charge multiple units. And we roll an 8. So they're in. And then this is the one we want. We have Fleet. We want a good roll. We've rolled it, I'll need 9. Decisions.
Take the risk.
Yeah, we might leave the 4 in place, which means I'll need a 5 or a 6 on this dice.
You'll get it because you're Eldar.
A 3. No, we're Dark Eldar, we fail. So, if I had a reroll, they would have got 6 or 9. No.
Yeah.
Okay. So they failed to get in. It's a shame there with the Incubi. No doubt they'll be shot to bits. Oh, and in the shooting phase, by the way, the Dark Lance here destroyed the Whirlwind's weapon. So that's a good turn up for the Dark Eldar there. It's just denying James that long range firepower. So I'm going to go on now to assaults. We'll get these results done. See if we can take out these 2 Vindicators and rip the heart out of this Ultramarine force. Right, so we'll do these assaults here. They've made it into combat. So we have a Hecatrix here and the Warlord. Both of those got Haywire Grenades and they're both in contact with this Vindicator. So they'll need 3s to hit. They both hit. Then just 2s or more. Oh, 1 penetrating hit. 1 glance, and the penetrating hit is a 3. So far so good. We now have 1, 2 Witches left. Right, so far so good. 2 hull points on here, but we may have overstretched ourselves. We're going to get 4 attacks with the remaining Witches. You don't get +1 for charging, so there's 2 attacks each. So we need freeze. Good. And then strength 5, they're strength 3, +1 for their combat drugs. And then now we're on turn 4, it's Furious Charge. So we're on strength 5, we're armor 10. Just 1, 5 or 6 on 3 dice. The odds are that we should do it. Yes, we have on a 5. So we've wrecked. Nice and neat job there. The first Vindicator falls victim to the Witches. Right, the others here, there's 6. So we'll get 12 attacks with the other Witches. We'll need freeze. Yes, can't complain. 2 misses there. It's 10 hits. 5s or 6s, the odds are we should do it. Yes. 3 glances and then 1 penetrating hit. Doesn't matter, it's gone. So 3 hull points gone. That Vindicator has been destroyed. James says we're in trouble. The Witches have fulfilled their mission and destroyed both the Vindicators. So that's a key blow to the Ultramarines now. That has tipped the favour back in with the Dark Eldar here. So we're going to go on to Ultramarines turn 4. Can they remedy the situation? Right, Ultramarine movement on turn 4. Tactical squad's just holding here inside the Rhino, although the combat squad's only 5 men there. No doubt they'll try and fire the flak missile up at the Razor Wing. Both Predators backed off here and lined up to shoot in this direction, probably at the Raider. This combat squad with the Flamer is just in position here. 5 men from this squad have got out and they're just in here. I could hardly see them. And they are armed with a Flamer as well, so Witches are going to get cooked. So that's not good. And then the other Rhino of the combat squad's flexibility here with the Tactical Marines. This squad's moving out and going to try and take on the objectives. So the game's not over. Last Vindicator's turned up, pop smoke, moved out 12 across the table as well. So Ultramarines gearing up for a small assault in the centre of the table. Dark Eldar don't have much to respond with, so game's not over. It never is with James. He'll fight to the bitter end. We have dealt out a nasty blow, but he's still hanging in there. 2 Predators still alive. So going to go on to shooting now for the Ultramarines on turn 4. Right, so shooting for the Ultramarines on turn 4 has been pretty good. This Predator's just moved out, didn't fire. This one fired across just about and got his kill on the Raider there. We failed our cover save. And then the Flamers, Bolters, Bolt Pistol, Plasma Pistol firing through have killed a load of witches. There's only 2 left with the Hecatrix there. And then the Archon has lost his Shadowfield save and taken a wound. Stormbolter fire brought down one of the Incubi. It was the Clavex who was at the front, but we passed a lookout sir roll. And that's about it. We jinked with the fighter and avoided the missile coming up from the combat squad here in the Rhino. So that's the shooting done for the Ultramarines. It looks like there are no assaults, so we're going to go into Dark Eldar turn 5. Alright, so movement for the Dark Eldar on turn 5. The Reavers have jumped up and over 12 inches. We'll either try an assault or we may try and just jink and set ourselves up this turn for an assault on turn 6. Then the Archon and the last of the Witches here just moving out to try and assault the Marines in the trench here along with James's Warlords. There may be a little showdown there. And then the Incubi moving up 6 inches to take out the Whirlwind. And then just holding the objective here with the Incubi in the trench, and then second in command just moving out behind the building, just being cautious because there is a Vindicator down there and the combat squad inside the Rhino. Hellions just moving out 12 inches, and then the Razor Wing has left combat airspace as well. So quite a bit of movement there for the Dark Eldar. Going to go on to shooting now on turn 5. Right, so shooting for the Dark Eldar on turn 5. We threw a plasma grenade, the Archon threw it, and one of the Rangers brought down. And that's about all the damage really, just ran with the Hellions there. And so they're just tucking around behind the building there. And then the Reavers are poised to try and charge actually this turn. We're going to try and reach the Rhino and possibly the Vindicator if we roll well enough. And then also this assault here. So we're going to go on to assaults. A couple of key assaults here, which could tip the scales once again for the Dark Eldar. Right, so charges for the Dark Eldar. We rolled a 6 over here, so the Reavers don't make it into combat over there, which is a shame. And then down here, the Incubi have made it in. And then taking no casualties, the Archon and the last of the Witches have made it into combat with James's command squad. So we'll resolve these combats here, these two. Right, so combat results for the Dark Eldar on turn 5 has gone very well. The Whirlwind has been glanced to death by the Incubi. So that's strength 5 on the charge there, +1 for the weapon, and then +1 for Furious Charge on turn 5. And then in the trench here, it went well. The Archon actually challenged the Sergeant, and he pulled out of combat. And then the Witch took on the Chaplain, and with 4 wounds dealt out, all hit and all wounded on 4s. The Chaplain failed 2 invuln saves and died. The Marines are being taken out, just the Sergeant left. James has passed morale and he's going to carry on. The lone Sergeant will continue to fight, but a very good result there for the Dark Eldar. So that marks the end of turn 5. James is turn 5 to come with the Ultramarines. His force has been battered. He's still there. A few units left, 2 Predators still left, and the game could end at the end of this turn. We'll see what happens as we go into Ultramarine turn 5. So it's gone pretty well for the Dark Eldar. It's been a tough game, but it's been wise keeping the Hellions and the Reavers alive, which is a mistake I've made in other games. Got them blown away before, but in this game, it's a full squad there, and they're right in the centre of the table. So it's pivotal here. There's 2 objectives at the base of the radar station. So I think it will be around that area that the game will be decided. If James can push through and claim 2, he'll win. If the Dark Eldar can see this last Ultramarine thrust forwards, then they will win. So the key is in the centre there towards the end of the game here. Dark Eldar attack on the other side has been effective. Multiple Ultramarine vehicles being taken out, and Marines beginning to fall now as well. So James just moving here, Predator pushing forward. He's going to go for line breaker to knock up another point. Dark Eldar will get that in their current position if those units over there can survive the Archon, the Witches and the Incubi. So James just moving here. It's a tough one. Limited number of units towards the end of the game, and every move and every figure counts at this crucial stage. Right, so movement for the Ultramarines on turn 5 could be the last turn of the game, and that's what James is gambling on. He's disembarked the combat squad there, and they are in between two objectives. They'll only be able to claim one though with that squad, but the Rhino is claiming the other. Vindicator in support just there. Predator bursting through. He's going to try and get line breaker. It's going to be tight on points here, even if James does hold these objectives. We think the advantage is with the Dark Eldar, but it's going to be tight. And coming around, this Rhino's empty. This squad moving forwards. There's a second squad there as well, and they're going to try and take out the Incubi hiding behind the wreck here. That combat continues, and then it's all very quiet down here. Just the sound of burning vehicles. Right, turn 5 for the Ultramarines. Hasn't gone the way James wanted. Predator moving forwards here 6 inches. Not quite line breaker, we think. Just at the angle here. Probably, well, we'll check it. I don't think so. And then fire from the Vindicator, the Rhino, the combat squad. And supporting fire from the Predator Annihilator. Only one jet bike brought down, the rest jinked or passed feel no pain from the combat squad fire. Passed about 10 jink saves of 3+ with their skilled rider. So Reaver's excellent idea of keeping them alive at the end of the game. James can see why it's paid off, and that little squad down there could be in a heap of trouble, but the game could end. We'll have to see. Just the Rhino moving up 6 inches there, and that is it. So we're going to go into combats here. There's none here, but we do have combats over the other side of the table. Right, so combat results on turn 5. James's sergeant challenged the Hecatrix. She declined and graciously let the Archon bring him down. So the Archon brought down the Space Marine sergeant. Heroic, but futile. So that marks the end of turn 5. James is going to roll now to see if the game continues. On 1 or a 2, it's over, and we'll calculate points. 4, we're going into turn 6. Dark Eldar, turn 6 coming up. Right, so Dark Eldar moving on turn 6. The Razor Wings turned up, just coming on here, moving up the table. Just going to try and take out the Predator here. Reavers have moved up. They'll try and finish off the Vindicator. And then the Hellions jumping up 12. They'll try and take on the combat squad, and then just 2 inches moving around with the second in command and his witch squad just over there. Incubi just in the trench holding the objective, and coming around, the Archon's left the witches and has joined the Incubi. They'll try and charge in. They get rage this turn, so they're absolutely psychos, and they'll charge quite happily into the combat squad there. And then this witch squad, they can either charge the combat squad in the Rex here or try and take out this Rhino. So multiple options for the Dark Eldar. We're going to go on to shooting on turn 6. Right, so shooting on turn 6 for the Dark Eldar. It's gone quite well. The Hellions firing down killed 3 Marines. James rolled terribly with his saves. 3 ones. We managed to wing the Predator with a Razor Wing. 1 penetrating hit and has shaken him up. Then the Archon threw a plasma grenade, didn't do any damage. And then one of the witches threw a haywire grenade and did a glance on the Rhino. So that's the shooting for the Dark Eldar. We're going to go into assaults now. Loads of assaults for the Dark Eldar on turn 6. So James said it earlier. He said the Dark Eldar can have the radar station, but it's too late now. He's moved in, and the Dark Eldar have moved in for the kill. So assaults here. The Hellions are in. They've made it into combat with the last 2 Marines there, and then a simultaneous charge from the Reavers has made contact with the Vindicator and the Rhino. We failed to reach the Rhino in combat there, but down here the Incubi on the rampage have charged in and against the squad there. So a couple of combats to do. and we'll see how well it goes. Alright, so combat results there. The Reavers have destroyed both the vehicles. It's good work. And then the Hellions brought down the 2 Marines. So Ultramarines have been removed from this area. Both objectives claimed by the Dark Eldar. So we're looking here at what could be a Dark Eldar victory. And then just here, the Incubi charging in destroyed the Marines. We lost the Clavex in the challenge. So that's the combat's done. It's the end of turn 6 for the Dark Eldar. Ultramarine turn 6 coming up. Alright, James has said there's no point in carrying on. He's going to concede here. So it's elation for the Dark Eldar. They've got their victory. And they've done it quite well. Just calculating points here. James is not quite in range here to get the line breaker for his Predator. Dark Eldar got line breaker over there with the units. Got First Blood and Slay the Warlord. The Chaplain was brought down. And then objectives held is one just here by the Hellions, one here by the second in command, and then the Incubi on the other side holding the objective by the trench. That is 12 points to 0. It's a convincing Dark Eldar victory. And perhaps this army will gain some respect now on the channel. It's a convincing win against James's unbound Ultramarines force. So victory to the Dark Eldar. There'll be a party on tonight at Camorra. so thanks for watching. It's a good game and a good return for the Dark Eldar as we go into the new season. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time. So we're just discussing unit the game here. James reckons the Vindicators, they did do damage when they came on, destroying Dark Eldar transports. Good nasty strength to them, strength 10. So it's Vindicators for James. Dark Eldar, a lot of units did well. Would probably give it to the Reavers. Use them. It was a tactical use of them in this game, and then they gave a good performance towards the end. So yeah, we're going to give it to the Reavers on this one as unit of the game. But the key with those is to keep them alive and then use them later on. Just thinking about it here, saying the Incubi did well, taking on vehicles and infantry, moving up their little units, but they did have a big impact on the game, so difficult one to call. I think we'll give it to the Reavers this time, but Incubi a very close second indeed.